and that's it.
Yeah, I got the 3 fights written down after that.
I don't
I got to run down. Yeah, I just have 3 fights on here, and then after that, I wrote down my picks. But I'm gonna post them on the other day anyway. Because I don't. None of these other fights are cool. Like you got one other fight that's even worth watching, but the Russian dude's gonna whoop his ass. I mean,
I am interested in the girl fight though, but
yeah, that fight's a little interesting. I don't know either of them, and the odds are back and forth. So whoever's the underdog on Vegas on fight day, I'm taking. Yeah, I'm just gonna take underdog on that fight. I think I actually did write down Wu. Yeah, Wu's an underdog right now.
Woo, yeah, Woo. That's why I like it. That's why I was like, oh, dope.
Yeah, I mean,
they just announced that Zhang and Carla's gonna go at it at Madison Square Garden. So
I mean,
let's give Carla her goodbye because after this she's done. I think she's gonna get beaten badly.
Yeah, that division's weak. That division's weak. Pathetic. But I mean, you never know. We'll see. I will say this about UFC: the last couple fight cards that they had have been absolutely
amazing,
phenomenal. And the one thing that pissed me off about the UFC is what they're doing. They're putting this fight on you that everybody wants to see on the pay-per-views, and then the rest of the card ain't really that good. And then they expect you to pay $100 for the card.
That's where
like the last 3 UFC fight nights have been absolute fire. Like they've been amazing. Like
they've been great.
I always tell people, I'm like, if you look at the odds on the car on like FanDuel or whatever, they'll tell you how good the fight card is going to be. The closer the odds are per like average of fights, the better it's going to be. Because last fight card, I remember like I'm pissed off. I went 11-1 on my post and I didn't bet anything. And my buddy Ryan's like, yo, you would have won a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, I didn't know any of them. No, I was just picking. I didn't know any of them except for a couple of them. I heard their names. But this fight's pretty cut forward. Like out of I think 12 fights, there's like 8 of them that are over minus 300 odds, which is crazy. I will say this, if you're minus, 380, 345, one dude's minus 700, probably gonna get a knockout. So at least for the people that are fans of knockouts, they might get some knockouts on there. Yeah.
I think so.
All right. Well, let's see. You ready to go, brother?
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Fresh off the win.
Everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stoop Life Podcast. If today's your first time listening, welcome to the club. Before we get started on today's episode, I do want to make a major announcement. Like, if you guys don't have your microphone up right now, turn it up as loud as you can because we got one of the biggest announcements of the entire year for Stoop. My man right here, Mr. Stoop, PJ himself, finally entered the win column in Stoop Debates. So everybody give a round of applause. He can finally talk shit. He finally got a W as a boxing guy against a UFC thing. So how's it feel to have your first win in the column there, buddy?
Tell you the truth. Biggest victory of my life.
Every victory is the biggest victory because it's the last
biggest victory in my life. I don't look past nothing. That was the biggest victory in my life. Nah, but it does feel good because I am the Stoop Life. It's like nah, man. It does feel good to have a win finally. Instead of looking at that, I should have had one win. So.
Hey, you never know, man. They're always fun. Stoop Debates are fun. I believe we've had 12 different competitors this year so far. We've had about 20 debates. Not 20.
It's been rolling. It's been rolling.
We got 2 more coming up. I'm in one. Yeah. Steve's in another one. We got 2 newcomers. Or not a newcomer. We got Ann coming back, and then we got a newcomer. So it'll be fun. But
tell you the truth, they're both fire debates.
Yeah, we got a couple. We're not gonna give them out. You guys gotta actually follow us on Stoop to see the debates because we'll post them as they come up. But tonight's podcast, we're gonna be talking about something that you all know we love. I love it. Like my favorite thing to watch in sports is UFC. I love watching MMA. Especially love watching when you got the elite people compete. And On Saturday, we got UFC 278. And whenever we do a breakdown of it, we win. But, guys, I'm going to tell you this. I don't really know half the fighters on this fight card. And they're not really that entertaining anyway, most of them. But we do have 3 fights on here that we need to talk about. And the main fight on here is actually going to lead to a debate that I believe we're going to have to revisit. It wasn't a debate that we did before, but me and Paul actually broke this down before. We broke down Kamaru Usman versus George St. Pierre. And since then, he's went on a 4-fight win streak, I believe, since we talked about it. And they've all been spectacular fashion. Now, coming into Saturday's fight, he's the champion again. He's going for a record-tying Anderson Silva 16-fight win streak inside of the UFC. So for those of you that don't understand how spectacular that is, it's the UFC. There's only been 6 guys that have had over double-digit win streaks. And I want to let you guys know something else. There has never been a headliner in UFC history that had 2 fighters in the same division, in the same fight, that had double-digit win streaks going up against each other. Now, we got Kamaru Usman at 16, and we got Leon Edwards at 10. Now, that's spectacular. We've never had it before, ever. The only time we would have had it was Ferguson Khabib, and that fell through 6 times. So this fight looks like it's going to happen. Knock on wood. I'm excited for it because me personally, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not that excited for the actual fight. I'm excited to see what Kamaru Usman does.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like last time he fought somebody for the second time was Jorge. When he fought Jorge, they said, "Why did you accept the second fight against him? You already beat him." And he said, "Because I didn't take his soul in the ring." And they asked him about Leon, and he said it was a three round fight. I didn't have the ability to knock him out or finish him, so I want to do it here. So I like that Kamaru Usman. He finished Jorge. He knocked Jorge out. He didn't finish Colby, but it was a hell of a fight. He had put on a hell of a performance. So that's how I feel about this fight. I'm excited to see what Kamaru Usman does, to see if he can add more to his legacy, to not only be considered the best in the welterweight, to jump over GSP, because I think this onslaught of fighters that he fought are more athletic in this era than what GSP did. And if he can go out there and put on a performance and a finish in this fight, and maybe 1 or 2 more, I have no problem with people putting him above him. So I know you like this guy.
Love him. What made me love the guy more is the progression he's made through every single fight. I've seen a lot of fighters in my day. Like, watched a lot of UFC, watched a lot of boxing. Kamaru Usman is the guy that literally every single fight he's been better. And that's rare. That's rare. He never plateaued. And it's scary. And the fact that he's running it back, he's clearing his division. He's saying, listen, I didn't finish the dude this time. I'm going for it. I can't wait, man. I mean, as much as I'm an Anderson guy, he's going to break the streak. But, I mean, he does that. That got to put him in that talk, man. That got to put him in the talk.
I don't know if he's going to break the streak. I don't know.
Because he's going to tie it, but he breaks it.
He's a minus 380 favorite to win this fight. He beat Leon Edwards in 2015.
Yeah.
And he beat him in great fashion. I'm going to get into those numbers in a little bit, guys. But I want to talk about Kamaru Usman right now a little bit more. Look at the guy. I want to break down the guys that he beat. Because the other day I said, I'm not really that impressed mainly with some of the guys he beat. But let's look at some of the guys he beat since he started his streak in the UFC. His first fight, he beat Yakovlev. I have no idea who that guy is. Whatever. He beat Alves, which until 2 years ago, he was still in the top 10 in the division. He beat Sean Strickland, who's actually a middleweight. Also never lost in middleweight, dropped down. Kamaru Usman whooped his ass. Impressive fight. Even though, he just got knocked out. Guy's a great fighter. He's a brawler. He's a guy that will get in your face. Usman beat him. He beat Moraes. All-time great. He beat another dude, Meek. I have no idea who that guy is. He whooped Damian Maia's ass. And actually, Damian Maia did not take him down. That's one of the most impressive stats on his record. Because whenever you talk about GSP Usman, you say, well, who's better on the ground? And we always argue, well, we don't really know. Kamaru's never on the ground. And your question, my question always is, do people just stand up because that's what they do, or is he that good? Well, apparently he's that good at takedown defense because Damian Maia didn't take him down. So after that, he whooped RDA's ass. He beat Tyron Woodley, who looked like he was on the way to beating GSP's record. He was dominating people. He was killing everybody. He literally took this fucking dude's soul. Like, he took Tyron's soul from him. After that fight, the dude couldn't even beat Jake Paul. Like, that's how bad. And I'm not even saying, like, Usman smothered him and killed him. Like,
body shots. Yeah, he had that dirty boxer was nasty. Dude, that was a good display of a fight, I think. Remember
how many times you took him to just throw his ass on the cage, grappling?
Dirty boxing. Boom, boom, body, boom.
Yeah, you can look at it. You can look at it now and say, "Oh well, T Wood little this after," and you're like, "No, well, like there's some fighters that you need to put context to them." T Wood stopped fighting to his potential because he got his ass whooped so bad by Usman. I was a T Wood fan because I remember T Wood went in against Darren Till, underdog, whooped his ass. The next fight, we're like, all right, let's see what this guy does. And he got killed. And that was coming out of Usman. That was a hell of a fight. And then after that, he broke Colby Covington's jaw. Didn't knock him out, but he beat him. And for everyone out here, UFC people that don't like Colby Covington, I get it. But inside the octagon, if it wasn't for Kamaru Usman, he would run the division as well.
He would.
Dude, then, he beat Jorge. And then he demolished Gilbert Burns, which we just saw him fight Hamzat Chimaev. Gilbert Burns is literally good at everything. He reminds me of like GSP's era. Thiago Alves. He's like a better version of him.
Ooh, that's a good comparison. That's a very good comparison. Thiago Alves.
They kind of look. They're both Brazilian. They both can throw. They both do everything very good.
Yeah.
And I'll give Thiago Alves was the bare knuckle champion for a while. So, I mean, hey, Gilbert Burns is one of them guys. And then after that, we get to the Jorge fight where he knocked him out, which Jorge never been knocked out in his career. Unbelievable knockout.
Sleep. That was sleep. Sleep.
Dude, you remember when he hit him?
The shoulder.
And you just saw the sweat come off his face. He's like, night. And this is a guy that, went out fighting heavyweights in the backyard, never got knocked out. And what did he say he wanted to do? He wanted to finish him. And like you were saying earlier about Kamaru Usman, every fight he got better at something.
He did.
Got better at something. The Colby fight again. Colby Covington did not try any takedown defenses the first fight. It was all stand up. It was all hand to hand. What happened in the second fight? Colby went 0 for 11.
Which is a crazy stat.
0 for 11. And that's a guy that's a national champion wrestler, a guy that takes down everybody when he wants to. He went 0 for 11 on him. So when we talk about Usman, there's levels. There's levels to this guy. And he learns every fight of what he needs to improve on. So when I look at Usman and look at his future here, he already whooped Leon Edwards' ass. He just didn't finish him.
Yeah.
Did you watch the first fight with these guys?
I watched the highlights. I didn't get to watch the full fight.
All right, so
I don't know why I missed it.
It was a while ago. It was before either guy. No one really knew who they were.
Yeah.
No one really knew who they were. It was 2015. That was Tyron Woodley was champion. That division was pretty high stacked. Different type of fighters. But let me break the fights, the stats here for you. So I watched the fight. I gave it 30-27 Usman. However, two of the judges had it 29-28. So I'm going to read these numbers to you, and I'm going to ask you how logically, just not even watching the fight, how it's possible. So Usman had 2 out of 4 takedowns. And when he got those 2 takedowns, he had 11 minutes of control time in a 15-minute fight. Okay. Of strikes, Kamaru Usman landed 126 out of 163. Leon Edwards landed 36 out of 67. He tripled him in output, and he tripled him in lands.
That's efficiency, man.
Yeah, I mean, he dominated him. Do you remember watching Frank Mir when Daniel Cormier came into the UFC? And he dogged him, threw him up against the cage, and whooped his ass. That's exactly what happened in these guys' first fight. So it's like, I mean, I get it. Leon Edwards is on a 10-fight win streak. He's 11-2 in the UFC. But do you think he's done anything in those 10, 11 fights that actually has shown that he has the ability to beat Usman, a guy who already whooped his ass?
No. We seen him last time with when he was very, very he was just trying to survive and win the fight. He wasn't trying to actually finish, he was trying to survive and win. And he did. He's very good at playing the points. But I think Usman's a little bit too smart for that. He knows I gotta finish.
Yeah. You can't play points against Usman. Like,
nah, he might outpoint you. Like, he might beat you at your game and do it 10 times better and make it a significant win. It wasn't a significant win against Nate Diaz. Like, let's be real here. Let's be real here.
I mean, he got hurt. I get it. He got the eye, but like, yeah. I mean, who's he really beat? Like, let's look at his record. That's why I'm saying, like, listen, when you're fighting in the UFC, the guys that you're fighting are more potent than when the guys that you're fighting in Bellator, like Fedor did. They're more prominent here. Diaz. Listen, Diaz ain't no easy fight. Like you said, he was beating 4-0. He tried to kind of, because Diaz isn't a guy that you knock out, really. Especially a guy like Leon, he's not a submission guy.
Better Nelson.
Yeah, beat RDA, Nelson, old Cerrone, who like he never even won. Sabota, I don't even know who that is. Brian Barberena and Vicente Luque.
He took those guys on early though. Luque and Barberena, they were early, so they weren't as polished quite yet, but it's still good wins to have in your resume. Yeah. Gunnar Nelson's always been that guy he's like a, how do I say it? It's like he's always a guy that's not a gatekeeper. I can't call him a gatekeeper, but he's always a tough fight.
He is. He's a little older.
RDA, I kind of wish he fought RDA a little earlier. RDA is pretty. I actually like RDA. All bullshit aside, I think he's a very well-rounded fighter.
But he's a lightweight.
He's a 155-pound fighter, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would say his best win, honestly, as crazy as it sounds, is Nate Diaz, and that's not even a great.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like he's a number 2 contender because he's beaten a lot of people in a row. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, would he have beaten Stephen Thompson? Would he have beaten Gilbert Burns or Colby? I don't think he beats any of them. I don't think he beats any of them guys. But 10-fight win streak in the division. You know, the guy cleared out everybody else below you. You're in a good spot. You're in a good spot here. And I want to bring my stream up here. We got our odds here. So for the odds for the fight, we got Kamaru Usman minus 380, and Leon Edwards is plus 310. I do like to think here, odds to win by KO. Kamaru Usman plus 240, Leon Edwards plus 550.
I'm taking that.
Yeah. Over or under. That's the one I'm trying to figure out. As a gambler, you know I like to look at what round is it going to end. Because I personally think Kamaru Usman's going to knock him out. I'm just trying to figure out what round we think it's going to be knocked out. So the over-under for the fight is 4.5. For it to go over is minus 155. For it to go under is plus 125. So Vegas slightly thinks it's going to go over. I think honestly, like, I'm looking at, if you go back and you watch their first fight, if there was another minute in the third round, Usman would have knocked him out because he had him up against the cage. He was ground and pounding him to end the fight. Now, was he doing that because the fight was ending, or was that like he was trying to get that knockout? Like he was trying to knock him out. So if I had to bet, if I'm being honest with you, I like betting Kamaru Usman to knock him out in round 3 or 4 because I don't think if you're trying to play a points game against Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards doesn't do enough to knock you out. So you're not going to be the predator in this fight. You know, in the majority of his other fights, if you look at him, Leon Edwards was the guy stalking. In this fight, it's going to be the opposite. So when you're trying to play points and you're backing away from a guy that knows you aren't really going to knock him out, it's probably not going to be a fun night for you. You know?
I mean, he got to take the Colby Covington page out of that book but I don't think he has that dog in him like Kobe does.
Yeah.
Like Kobe was just like, let's go. Like he just constantly wanted it, and that's the only way you can make him feel uncomfortable in there. And I don't think Leon Edwards has the stamina nor the chin, and definitely not the power. Even though Kobe didn't have the power either, but he had the constant pressure in your face, like annoying inner shit. That's not Leon Edwards.
Yeah, I will say, Leon is the type of guy that will pick you apart and piece you. But like I said, that's when you're the aggressor. Like Colby Covington wasn't afraid to walk down. He walked Usman down sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like if you watch the first fight and you see it, Usman wasn't Usman in that first fight and he couldn't even hit him.
He was just saying, let's go.
Yeah. So I look at this. I look at Leon Edwards, a guy that almost got knocked out by a Stockton slap. You mean to tell me you're going to be able to take a Kamaru Usman right hook? He almost got knocked out by the slap of Nate Diaz. Like, I mean, I guess that slap's pretty damn good, which it is. It's well known, but still,
it's on a couple guys.
Yeah, like an old Nick Diaz slap or this freaking beast right here. I'm taking the Usman right hook.
The funny thing is, Kamaru's best punch is right down the middle.
Yeah.
And it's nasty. It's nasty. So
I will say one thing though. Leon Edwards does have a little bit longer arms. So if he can get that straight through punch in, kind of take it out of Usman's book, maybe. It hasn't worked very well for anybody yet. I don't know. I'm trying to find a path of victory for Leon. And
are we sleeping on the submission aspect with Kamaru? You think he could put a submission out his ass against Leon? He does have the ground control in the last fight. Maybe he can work that submission. He knows what he's doing.
I think Kamaru Usman's the type of guy right now where he wants to knock your ass out on the feet. I really do. I feel like he knows he can dominate you on the ground because he did it in the first fight. And judging by the way he went his last couple fights, it doesn't seem like he wants to go that route. Yeah. But, I mean, he might because Leon Edwards ain't taking him down, and he took him down 6 times in the first fight. So, I mean, I feel like Kamaru Usman on top of that is a showman. He wants to get in that ring and very good. It is MMA, but he knows well, like, if you want the fans to like you, got to throw a lot in them. They want to see you standing up. So
very smart.
And I think Kamaru Usman knows that his jaw hasn't been tested, but it's looked pretty solid thus far against people he fought. He hasn't really got hit. That's what I mean. But I'm pretty sure he has a good jaw. It doesn't look like it took any damage yet. So I'm pretty sure he's just going to stalk down Leon. I don't really see a path of victory for Leon because he's not going to take him down. He doesn't hit harder than him, and he's not going to be the. It's MMA though. Like if I had to bet anything on Leon winning, I wouldn't bet points. I'd bet knockout, a lucky punch.
I'd bet knockout too.
That's about it. I mean, I'm not doing it. My personal pick for this fight, if I had to bet it, I like Kamaru Usman in 3rd round knockout at plus 1,600, or I like him at round 4 knockout at plus 2,500. So they're my bets right there. Round 3 or 4 knockout. That's what I'm finishing.
I'm right with you. I'm going for fourth round knockout.
Yeah.
Leon can hang to the 3rd. He knows.
Yeah. It'll be a fun fight to watch. I want to talk about the next fight we got coming up. I don't know if you're really entertained for the fight or you just want to kind of see who shows up.
Can I keep it real with you about this fight? I hate both of these motherfuckers. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit. I can't stand either one of these motherfuckers. None of them should be in here fighting. None of them. They're both soft. Both of them.
I want to say this. I agree with you. I used to like Paulo Costa.
Never liked Paulo. He did a lot of cooking this day. You can tell.
Bro, listen. I talked all this shit for him. Going into that Israel Adesanya fight.
My boy did.
I'm not mad he got knocked out either. Like, I'm not mad he got knocked out by Izzy because Izzy's good. Top 5 in pound for pound right now, no matter how you have him. Yeah. I'm mad about how he went about after the fight. How he blamed it, he drank too much wine. And then
Shut the fuck up.
You got knocked out. Like, it is what it is. You didn't hear Robert Whitaker saying, yeah, I had a bad camp. There was too much flood and I couldn't run the hills as much as I wanted to in Australia. Like, he didn't say that shit. Like, he's like, yeah, he got me, beat me. Let's get back to it. Paulo Costa didn't do that. What Paulo Costa did is he went on to fight Matt Vettori, and he didn't even attempt to make weight. This man fought at light heavyweight because he didn't even attempt to make middleweight. And the UFC said, all right, how much do you weigh? How much offer you the weight? He said, I weigh 220. They're like, dude, you're supposed to weigh 185. Like, what are you doing?
75 pounds over.
And what happened? Matt Vettori said, all right, fuck it. And beat his ass. So, I mean.
I can understand, though. I never liked this Costa guy. Talk too much. He never showed nothing.
Listen, he's Enrique Iglesias 2.0.
Exactly.
He had a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, he should be Spanish Sobaker, the novella. That's what he needs.
But on the other end, we got another dude who literally might be my least liked fighter all time.
Yeah, let me talk about this motherfucker.
Listen, I will say this about Luke Rockhold. He's a Derek Jeter of the UFC. That man got all the girls.
But how the fuck do you want to talk about a downfall in somebody's career? Look at him. Look at Luke Rockhold's downfall.
Listen, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Then you go on a 5-fight losing streak, I believe, is it?
So yeah, he came over from, was he in Bellator, Strikeforce, whatever one it was?
Strikeforce.
Dominating people, came over, won like 1 or 2 fights, became the champion, and then got knocked out by Michael Bisping. Now,
out of all people.
Listen, I don't know if you ever actually watched Rockhold's interviews. He's as much of a straightforward guy as you can get, though. I do like his interviews. I like what he says. I just don't like him personally. So he was talking about that Bisping fight, and he literally said, I thought Michael Bisping was so bad that I thought I was going to win, that I stayed up till 5 a.m. gambling. And I was they literally had video of him. He was at the poker table drinking till 5 a.m. When he went to the fight, he got knocked out by Michael Bisping, and he said, I didn't think this guy would ever be able to hit me. And then I don't really know what happened after that. He tried to go up in light heavyweight, and he got one punch knocked out by Jan. Jan broke his jaw. Then he disappeared. And then he disappeared.
Well, he got knocked out by Yoel Romero. He hasn't fought since 2019.
Yeah. He just did his press conference. I was listening to what he said, and to be honest with you, I'm actually rooting for him to win this fight. Just based on what he said in the interview. He basically was calling out the UFC about their sponsorships and saying how when they transferred over, they ruined a lot of fighters' pockets and their career trajectories because, like a lot of these fighters are poor. And when you're training on camp, you're going in the ring and octagon against these warriors, and you're only making $10,000 after you pay your training and all. It's hard. Like they stop. They don't do it. They don't eat as right. So when they go into a fight, they lose. So he was talking about it, and Francis Ngannou actually retweeted everything he said, and he was right. He was basically backing up what he said, and I believe it's the last fight on his contract.
Yeah, he's out there. He'll be back next year.
He's not going to go anywhere else after this, I think. I just think he wants to beat Paulo Costa up because they don't like each other. They've constantly made fun of each other and went back and forth. But I will say this about Luke Rockhold. He seems like he's for the fighters. I'll give him that. He's just an asshole.
He's an asshole. I just didn't like how cocky he was after he beat Chris Weidman. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I get it. All right, boy, all right. But you got knocked out. You lost your title. You ain't been the same since. You beat up David Branch, who was halfway out of the UFC anyway.
Who do you think was the worst champion, Luke Rockhold or Michael Bisping?
I can't say Bisping. I can't say Bisping. He actually defended his title. And he did successfully defend it against the man who knocked out Fedor. But Dan Henderson, he had a title defense against Dan Henderson.
He defended against. Oh, I didn't even know. I just remember he lost to GSP and they both retired.
That was the fight after.
Yeah.
And he was giving GSP work in that fight too. Just GSP just got smart.
Yeah.
But I gotta say it's Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Rockhold's back in the ring against a guy who apparently has been hanging out with Patty Plummet and is going to make weight.
That's something he needs, right?
Yeah, Patty Plummet's a guy that needs serious counseling for his food issues because that guy blew up. But
Something he needs.
apparently he's been working with Paulo Costa and he's going to make weight. So that's a good sign for Paulo Costa.
That's definitely something who misses weight. You're gonna take tips.
I have no idea how Paulo Costa makes weight. This guy walks around at about 220. He even said it, and he makes 185. I don't know how he does it, but anyway, he's going to make weight. So anyway, the odds for the fight, we got Paulo Costa as a favorite at minus 345, and we got Luke Rockhold at plus 285. I think that the odds for that probably sit pretty well, considering the fact Luke Rockhold hasn't fought in 2-3 years. He hasn't won in 5-6 years. So I like that. My question for you is this. What round does Luke Rockhold get knocked out in? That's my question. 1, 2, or 3? That's what the people need to know.
I don't even think he's gonna do it, honestly.
If Paulo makes weight, don't forget about the fight where he almost knocked out Yoel Romero. You remember that fight? That was the Paulo Costa I liked. He wasn't the same guy after that. But he's going up against Luke Rockhold. He has a personal grudge against him. They don't like each other.
Yeah.
And Luke Rockhold don't got no damn chin. I personally think Paulo Costa is going to knock him out in round 1. Round 1 knockout.
You know what? If he does that, if he knocks him out in the first round, he gets his name back on the map. But I think he wins the decision.
The thing is, even if he knocks Luke Rockhold in the first round, I don't think it matters to him in the division. It doesn't.
At 85 or middleweight?
In middleweight. They're fighting at middleweight. Like, what's it do for him in the division? You lost to Matt Vettori in a weight you couldn't make. You got knocked out by Izzy, and then you doubted.
Sean Strickland?
Who'd he fight next? Nah, Strickland's on for who's the guy that lost to it's Connier. It's Connier and Strickland to fight.
Connier.
Who's he fight? Whitaker? Did they fight yet?
To keep Whitaker busy, yes.
I mean, I think that's one guy Whitaker hasn't fought yet. I don't know. I will say this though: if Luke Rockhold wins, he might get the next title shot.
The fuck out of it.
I'm not saying he deserves it, but he's a big name. And if
I don't think Izzy will fight him.
Well, if Izzy beats Alex,
that's true.
Who's next? He's beat everybody. So why not fight somebody you know is going to draw? People know Luke Rockhold. They'll watch Luke Rockhold.
He's the winner of Strickland Connier.
I think Connier might beat Strickland. I think Strickland's done. Once you get knocked out that one time, you go downhill. Like, I don't know.
You say you go downhill.
I mean, honestly, it would probably be Whitaker again, even though
we're good. We're good. We don't need a third one with him and Whitaker. Maybe he steps up to the heavyweight finally.
What if Usman does that before? I don't know.
That's the thing. I don't think. Here's the thing. I think if he knows that Izzy's going to light heavyweight, he'll go up to the middleweight.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's what I think he do.
It's this fight is actually interesting because I think it doesn't really do anything if Costa wins, but I really do think it skyrockets Luke Rockhold up the leaderboard if he wins this fight because he has beaten everybody else. He beat Whitaker twice. He beat Vettori twice. He beat Connier. If he beats Alex goes down. So I mean, I guess Strickland would have to kill Connier to get a fight. Luke Rockhold.
He definitely would have to win that Connier fight significantly. So I mean, maybe I don't know. That Kamaru Usman and Izzy both have their divisions literally on lock.
Well, I'll say this too. I'll throw another curveball at you here. Let's say Kamaru Usman fights here. Let's say he gets cut. Let's say he gets cut or something. 6 months suspension. Who's Hamzat fight? Is Hamzat gonna? Will
Oh,
Hamzat? Because listen, he's a guy that can fight for both titles. He can fight both guys. So
he could fight.
This is like, think about it. Like,
I
I
don't
don't know. He could
70 at
Hamzat's
70.
on Diaz on 2. He's the next event.
Yeah,
So they could possibly fight in January, February.
straight up.
So I know it's tough. It's tough. Either way, Paulo Costa is going to get a big knockout here. If he loses this fight, done. He'll get cut.
See you later.
He'll be out 0-3. I think he gets cut. So I think it's a huge fight for Paulo Costa. That's why I think he's going to win by knockout. And he's going to stick around. What do you got?
I think I got to win it by decision, honestly. I don't know what Paulo Costa has left in him after 2 bad losses. I don't know what he has left in him. So he might go out there and be stupid. And let's be real, Luke isn't somebody to sleep on. He is a very good kickboxer and a very good wrestler. So we'll see. I got to go.
He's somebody that's going to get slapped. No, you never know. You never know. He does train with Cheeto Vera. So if he brings that type of fight style to Paulo Costa, he can pick him apart.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you do that against Costa, Costa's one of them guys where if he's throwing and not really landing, you're kind of just nitnacking at him. After like a round or round and a half, he's gonna open himself up.
Yeah.
So I do like the odds there at Luke Rockhold plus 1,000 to win by knockout. I like that, but we'll see. We'll see. Now the next fight we got, you already know. My heart's broken into 2 on this fight. I got 2 guys here. So if you guys keep up to date with us where we do these podcasts about UFC, we did a podcast where we talked about a lot of like up-and-comer guys. And I talked about my man right here, Merab Dvalishvili. And Paul's like, who the hell is Merab Dvalishvili? And I brought him up, and he's like, yeah, I know that guy. He's a savage. Well,
he's a tank. First of all, he's a little tank.
He's fighting the legend, Scarface, Jose Aldo. And this is one of the first fights that is a non-title fight because he wasn't favored in the non-title. It's the first non-title fight of Jose Aldo's career that he is the underdog. Unbelievable. Think about that. This man has been champion since he was champion when he was 24. He's been in the UFC since he was 24. He was fighting since he was 21. In a non-title fight, he's never been an underdog. First time ever.
It's the age, man. It's the age.
So, Merab Dvalishvili is minus 130, and Jose Aldo is plus 110. I have no problems with those odds. They actually were the other way when the fight got announced. Now, my problem with this fight is this. I think Merab is a fucking machine. I love watching this guy fight. But if Jose Aldo loses this fight, he's probably going to retire. If he wins this fight, he gets another title shot. So my heart is saying I want to see Jose Aldo win. I want to see Jose Aldo win. But we're going to break this down a little bit. I'm going to show you how and why I picked who I picked. Because I love Scarface. But I'll let you start first and give a little breakdown of what you think about this fight before I give some numbers in here.
Yo, man, Merab's tough. I'm glad when you bring him up to me, I actually go back and watch his fight. Yeah, he's a tank, man. He's a fucking tank. Trains with Aljamain. He's a good all-around fighter. But I mean, the legend. I hate having to go against the legend because I know what Jose Aldo could do. He can still fight. He can still break you down. The leg kicks are still nasty. He's still fast. He's still explosive. The only thing questionable is that chin. He took a lot of years off himself when he fought Max twice. So I don't know, man. I mean, I'm cheering for Jose. I'm like you, but Merab's a bad motherfucker, bro.
So yeah, you talk about his chin here, but luckily Merab's not the type of guy that has shown any real knockout power.
He hasn't. But he has shown himself.
Yeah, there was a couple fights where he hit some people, but he's not a knockout guy. He's one of the guys that literally gruels you down, and he's only fought 3-round fights, and he doesn't have enough power to really knock you out yet. Yeah. But he's improved every one of his fights. He's improved drastically in every one of his fights. And that's the thing I want to break down here because we already know Jose Aldo. We know what he is. He's the one of the GOATs ever. Dropped down in weight class.
145-pound fighter ever. Let's get this. He's the greatest 145-pound fighter ever. Not BJ Penn. Jose Aldo.
Well, I mean, you can throw in Volkanovski now. I mean, it's questionable.
Next is there too.
It's Jose, and then Volk.
Volk's gonna pass him. Volk's gonna pass him.
But anyway, as of right now, he's definitely the GOAT of the division. 11 straight title fight wins. He didn't lose for 9 years. But in this division, he started off in bantamweight 0-2. The first fight he lost was against Marlon Moraes, who everybody knew he won, including the champion, including Dana White. That's why he got the title fight against Peter Yan. He got knocked out by Peter Yan. But since that fight, he started fighting a lot different. He started using the distance. He started using his kicks again because he started trying to get into that mode of trying to redeem himself for getting knocked out by Conor. So he's throwing more. That's not his fight style. Since then, he's on a 3-fight win streak. And let me tell you guys something. He beat 2 guys that are very good in the division. Last fight he beat Rob Font, who fought a lot of people. And more importantly, probably has the best victory in this division now. Sometimes, you look at future, you go, that win didn't age well. Well, he beat Cheeto. He beat Cheeto Vera.
That's a huge win. You just saw Cheeto handle business last weekend. Like, that's a big win for Jose Aldo.
Exactly. It's a phenomenal win, and he dominated him in it. He won unanimous. Phenomenal. But I do want to point out something. This is different here, which is a reason why we go. So, in his last 5 fights in this division, his strikes landed per minute are 3.51. His strikes absorbed are 4.74.
So he takes his damage too.
He takes a little bit more damage. But then again, like I said, his first 2 fights in the division, he was throwing.
Yeah.
He didn't throw against Cheeto. It was a chess match. But this the things that are actually pretty crazy. So against Peter Yan, listen to some. You're going to see some crazy shit here. Against Peter Yan, he got outstruck 258 to 83. Peter Yan whooped his ass. Against Cheeto, he outstruck Cheeto 92 to 60. Defense is improved. He outstruck Peter Munoz. I didn't write numbers, it's about the same as Vera. Against Rob Font, he got outstruck 193 to 96. So 2 of those fights, he got outstruck by triple. Now I want to talk about Merab for a second here, and I want to point out Merab. His last 4 fights. So listen to this shit. His 4th fight, 4 fights ago, he won a fight where he only threw 11 strikes landed. He got hit twice. That went 3 rounds. It was a 3-round fight. He only landed strikes at 1.
A lot of grappling.
The first fight after that, he fought Dotson. And remember, this is the guy that throws a lot of fucking punches, John Dotson. He outstruck John Dotson 88 to 31.
Damn, dude.
After that, he fought another guy that likes to throw, and Cody Stamann. Merab outthrew him 178 to 73. He's doubling. He's increasing. The last fight he had was against Marlon Moraes. He outthrew Marlon Moraes. He outstruck him 246 to 34, and he had 4 takedowns in that fight. I don't know how he didn't knock him out. Somehow, Moraes got saved by the bell in every round. But what I'm trying to say is that if Merab can pull Jose Aldo into throwing, he's going to significantly outstrike Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
So whoever is going to get that pace going first or keep the pace is going to win this fight. And I don't think you're going to stop Merab from throwing punches because he has shown in his last 3 fights that he knows output wins. So it's hard. Listen, it's hard. He might go in that ring and look across and see Jose Aldo and say, get a little starstruck. I mean, I would.
Yeah.
But then again, if you ever listen to this guy talk, he wants to be the first champion ever from the country of Georgia. He's not going to get starstruck. He's going to get excited, and I think he's going to throw a lot. Which leads me to my next point. Jose Aldo has a 55% knockout rate in his career. If Merab comes and throws wild, Jose Aldo's guy is going to be able to pick him apart.
Yeah.
He can throw kicks and punches. So I'm really excited for this fight. But because of those numbers, I'm going with the younger guy, and I think Merab's going to win another fight by points, unfortunately. I'm not betting it because I don't want to see it happen because I want Aldo to get that next title shot.
Me too.
Yeah, I think Merab's gonna give him the work here. I think it was a bad choice for Jose Aldo to fight Merab, but at that time, was probably the only guy that was available to fight. I mean, the odds on the fight aren't that bad. You got Jose Aldo to win by knockout, plus 400. For Merab to win by knockout, you got plus 550. For them to win by points, you got by decision. You got Merab plus 135. Jose Aldo's plus 240. So, I honestly like. I throw a little bit of money on a knockout win by Merab, just a little bit at plus 550. I mean, possibly. Or like if you want to double it up, you put both guys. You know, you can put the fight both win by knockout.
I agree.
I don't know what you have in this fight. What do you got?
As much as it pains me to roll with against the OG, I gotta go with Merab. You're right. He is determined to be the first champion from the country of Georgia, and he's another guy who's gotten significantly better. So he's learning. Output does win, and that's a key, man. If you're tough enough to take that kind of fight and be in control and pick people apart like that, I gotta go Merab. I can totally see Jose Aldo leg kick, body, leg kick, body,
Yeah, I could.
and start doing some little stuff like that. I can see that. But this is a different beast he's fighting now.
Yeah, I agree there.
I gotta go Merab. And sadly, he might stop him.
Yeah, like I think if it wasn't Jose Aldo and you put both fighters of what they've done lately against each other and without their names, I think this line would be a lot more into the favorite of Merab. I think it would. That name's keeping that line there. So honestly, like as much as I love Jose Aldo, I think you're getting a steal at Merab at minus 130. So I want to talk about the future. This fight entails of what could happen in this division. We already know every single other fighter pretty much in the division has a fight. Marlon Vera just beat Dominic Cruz by knockout. Later in the year, we got Aljamain Sterling fighting TJ Dillashaw. We also have Peter Yan fighting Sean O'Malley. This fight has a lot of implications on who could be the next title shot and how the division could shake up. Because for those of you that don't know, Merab is training partners and best friends with the champion Aljamain Sterling, and Aljamain Sterling has came out and said that he will relinquish the belt to allow Merab to get a title for his country. So we could see a lot of crazy things happen here. Listen, so what could possibly happen is this. Number one, TJ Dillashaw beats Aldo. Could happen. Who gets title shot? Probably Jose Aldo versus TJ, right? If Jose wins. Well, what if Peter Yan beats Sean O'Malley? What if Aldo wins, Peter Yan wins, Aldo wins? What happens? Who they line up? You know
that's honestly a good problem to have.
Yeah, because are you going to match up TJ Dillashaw versus Jose Aldo, even though he lost? You're going to allow him to stay in the picture still and kind of take it away from Aldo, or are you going to just let Aldo sit out until that happens? Me personally, I would tell Aldo, yo, take this injury. We need to wait till you get a title shot.
Yeah, go relax. If you win this fight, go relax.
Yeah, but then again, Sean O'Malley. I put the question on Sean O'Malley. Does Sean O'Malley fight Merab? Does Sean O'Malley fight TJ? What do you do?
That's a good another problem to have.
I
I think if TJ wins, you got to give him in Merab. You have to give him the Merab. I think Sean O'Malley or the winner between Sean O'Malley should get the loser of this fight.
So you think Peter Yan should not get a title match if he wins?
If he wins, he has to win. Why not give him the title? Why not? Huh?
I'm not sold on O'Malley. That's my thing. It's like if my predictions happen, I think I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm taking like we already know what TJ Dillashaw and Aljamain Sterling are going to bring.
Yeah.
Who's going to win their game plan? TJ's going to try and knock you out. Aldous is going to try and take you the fuck down.
Yeah.
I personally think TJ's going to win that fight. I think TJ wins that fight.
I don't know, man. I'm not. Ever since TJ got popped with the stuff, I'm not. I don't think he's going to be able to.
Yeah, I remember he whooped up on what's it called? The other dude. What the fuck is his name? Another guy that's up there. Sandhagen. Whooped up.
Oh yeah, he did be pretty Sandhagen. That's right.
I heard after that. That's why the title shot went to Aljo. Because remember it was supposed to be Peter Yan, TJ. He got hurt. Aljo won. That division has a lot of problems that you want to have, but you don't want to have.
Somebody needs to be left out. The sad part is, I don't think it's going to be Shane O'Malley. If Shane O'Malley wins, he's going to be the. If they don't give the title shot to Jose, it's going to be Sean O'Malley. Yeah, because the UFC love him. They love him.
Aldo. It's got like if O'Malley beats Peter Yan and Aldo wins, Sean O'Malley's going to sit out. It's going to be Aldo. Like it has to be Aldo. Like you have to give it.
It's going to be Aldo. But
if Sean O'Malley wins, it's a better win.
Yeah.
But like, still, like you want a guy that can win another champion, like for publicity and for the future of the sport. This and that. You want a guy to have the chance to win that belt. Like if he wins that belt in a different division, it's good for them. I will say the guy that's on the shit end of the stick is Merab. If Merab loses to Aldo, he's dropping way down.
He's not the draw. That's why.
He's not the draw.
He's not the draw.
Like he needs to knock Jose Aldo out. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, he needs to make a statement. There's got to be a statement fight.
Like
if he just beats Aldo, if it's a 3-round, just like 3-round slug.
Yeah.
Nobody really did anything, and it was a split decision. He's not getting that title shot. He kissed that goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, who do you think's going? When you think Aldo, or TJ? You got Aldo.
I think Aldo. It's Aldo.
You got Peter Yan or O'Malley.
I love this fight. I really love this fight. I'm gonna roll with Peter Yan.
What do we do with Cheeto? Where's Cheeto go? Who's he fighting?
And that's my favorite fighter in his division, Cheeto. That's my favorite fighter in his division. So I'm leaving him out for a reason because he has to beat a couple more dogs. He has to beat another person that he's asking.
He said it in his interview, and I 100% agree with him. They asked him, "Do you deserve a title shot next?" And he goes, "I won't say I deserve a title shot, but we have 3 other guys that are in line to get a title shot. They're about to fight. I think the guy who has the best finish should get the title shot." They want to find, and I agree with him. I mean, he knocked out Dominic Cruz. Like that, Dominic Cruz never lost a non-title fight in his whole career. He knocked him out, and he did it. Like his game plan was 100%. Like if people watch the fight, oh well, he wasn't really doing much. That was his plan. His plan was to wait to figure him out to see what he was going to do. Like it was a perfect fight, like beautiful fight. Like my boys are like, oh, he's not looking good. I'm like, wait till round 4. Like 4 or 5, I'm telling you. Like, and what happened? Dominic Cruz does that little like jerk thing where he like time, bam, perfect. Because Dominic Cruz, what he kept doing was hitting and going to the right.
Yeah.
So Tito would push in and make him do it, and then the second time he did it, time to kick.
Like
it was perfectly, and that's what he does. So it's tough. It's tough. I think he's honestly like, I love Merab. I love him. But in my honest opinion, looking at the division, unless he knocks out Jose Aldo, a decision win doesn't do anything for him to get a title shot. Because there's other guys in front of him that people know, that people want to see. So he has to make a fucking statement here. And I don't think Aldo's going to put himself in a situation to get knocked out here. So I think he's on the shit end of the stick near that.
It is.
Good division, though. Good division.
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in there. I'm going to throw a monkey wrench. Triple C is coming out of retirement.
I mean, listen.
Monkey wrench in there. He wants to fight again. He is training. I don't think he's not on the Mike Tyson podcast anymore because he wants to focus on training. He's coming back. What do you do with Triple C?
Here's what I'll say. If Sean O'Malley beats Peter Yan, Aldo loses to Merab, I give the title shot to Sean. He's the name. People know him. Yeah. If Peter Yan wins, and I don't care who wins the title shot, I give the fight to Triple C. People don't really like Peter Yan. We don't really like him. Now on top of that, just because he's Russian, they don't really like him. Like, I don't like the guy. I don't like him.
He's a dickhead. He's a bit of a dickhead.
Listen, I don't like the way he's like. He's good. Don't get me wrong. Dude's fucking beast.
You see what happened last fight? You see when he fought Aldo the second time? He was outclassed. Class. Man, he looked horrible against him. So
he thought he was going to knock him out because he almost did in the first fight. I mean, he killed Alex Main in that first fight. Like, he dogged him. But in that second fight, it was like, that's why he didn't get a rematch, because you look so bad. Like, you didn't even deserve it. Like, how many times have you seen a champion, like, well, first off, he wasn't a champion, but again, there's a whole situation. But just because of that situation, I don't ever want to see that dude in a title shot again. I don't like it.
He just showed why you're not a champion.
At the same time, like, I like when the UFC champions are guys that people hate because of what they say. So I kind of like Aldo being up there. I always like Aldo. I like how he walks out the Jamaican flag. We'll see. I mean, I will say he's not a drawer, though. People aren't going to be drawn to watch him. But
Aldo?
He's a champion. I think he might submit PJ. But we'll see. The division is locked. I want to see Cheeto for Sean O'Malley again for a title shot. That's what I want to see.
Let me keep it real with you. I think Cheeto spanks him the second time.
Listen, we were just talking about the other day. I said everyone was putting all the emphasis on Sean O'Malley, and the UFC realizes now that they fucked up and promoted the wrong guy. They should have been promoting Cheeto. That dude's a savage.
Cheeto is a fucking killer. I love Cheeto, man.
Bro,
I love everything about him. He gives me that. He's a cartel. He's literally the cartel of the UFC.
He is. I love watching him fight. But we'll see. We got a lot of implications for this fight right here for the division. But it could go anyway. You never know with Dana White. He might just say, yeah, screw you, Jose. I don't see that happen. I think if Jose Aldo wins this fight, though, I think no matter what happens, I think he gets title shot, Jose. Just out of respect for his career.
He's over.
I don't think he'll win the title again, though. I don't. Listen, I mean, that has
if he wins again, if he wins the title, I think the debate between the debate between you and the BJ Penn, I think it's over.
It's already over anyway, but
you won. You won.
This puts him up in that upper echelon where you start putting him with Jones, GSP. So
I agree.
He's already should be mentioned with him and Mighty Mouse, but he will be mentioned then.
He will be. I agree. I don't know what you mean.
You got this guy fighting after this age. I broke down BJ Penn's career after age 30. There's a lot of fighters I could do the same thing with, except this man right here. This man has. First off, when he went down in weight, everybody said he's done. He looks like shit. Look at him.
No.
Like I said, he did. No, he did. Do you remember that first weight cut he did? We were like, oh my god. He looked
skinny.
He looked bad. And then he tried to knock out Marlon Moraes after he got knocked out by Conor. Didn't work for him. He won the fight, but on card he lost. Then he tried to do the same thing against Peter Yan, got crushed. Like I said, then the next 3 fights, what did he do? Didn't start going
old.
So listen, when you got those legs, when you have those kicks, and you're that good at it,
use them.
I don't care who you are. You're not stopping him. So if he uses them legs, it keeps your distance away from pounding in. He's going to win the fight.
I think we might see that, but again, and Merab is just a tank, man. I like the progression he's made in his last 3 fights. So from landing 11 punches to landing how many in his last fight is crazy.
He's almost doubled his output on every fight going forward. So maybe he's going to land 300 strikes. Well, that just tells me that's why I said I can see Jose Aldo get knocked out here at plus 550. He's not going to get hit by 300 strikes. I'll give him that. He's probably, let's do the math. 90, 60. If you do the math based off his last fights on how much he's went up, he would land about 306 punches. I don't see him like that's Max Holloway right there.
Yes.
3 rounds. I don't see that happening, but you never know. Like if he lands 307 punches against Jose Aldo in a 3-round fight, give the man a title shot. Like what the fuck? Like we'll see though. We'll see. You never know. But other than that, guys, we ain't even going to talk about the other fights. Check our Instagram page. My picks for them, because I'm not talking about them right now. We don't really care about them. But those are the 3 fights. Those are our 3 main picks. And like I said, check our Instagram or our Stoop Life page. I'll have the picks up on Friday for you guys. So other than that, I'm excited to see Usyk. But anything else you got to add?
Get some merch. Go buy some T-shirts. Go buy some T-shirts. Go rep the brand, man.
Absolutely. But all right, y'all. Peace out. Catch y'all later. See you, man.
See ya.